Welcome to an all-new episode of Super Cool Nerd Show. As you can probably tell, this is Halloween. Either that or I got possessed by Mario. Gotta tell you guys, really into white blonde chicks right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and introduce the cast that we have tonight. We've got the lovely Miss Cass. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
What are you dressed up as today?
Well, it's a 24/7 costume.
Mm-hmm.
I am a soulless ginger.
Oh, that's accurate.
But that's just me.
That is the greatest costume I've ever seen. Insane in the membrane. All right, and then we're gonna go to the next camera, but I want to warn you guys for a second. What you will see is the most chilling thing you've ever seen in your life, and also it is Dark Link. Just come on, it's Dark Link. Miss Cora is Dark Link.
Hello. Okay, I can't actually see like that. Hello.
She's Dark Link.
I'm Dark
She's
Link.
Dark Link.
Dark Link.
Rob.
Dark Link.
She is Dark Link. Okay, now the second most horrific thing you'll ever see in your life, Mr. The intern, Ricardo.
I'm dressed up as a regular cast member.
No.
No.
You're Ace. That's not Ace.
That's right.
We have that written down.
I'm an Ace.
Ace. That's not Ace. We have it
in ink.
It is.
It's an ink. It's yeah. I'm an Ace. That's not an Ace.
She
You're
came
also
up
a
with
disgrace.
it. She's amazing. All right.
I'm a disgrace to Aces.
I'm
Now,
gonna let go.
the guy who's running the board though tonight is well, I'm really upset because he's not wearing his dino costume, but he was for a second there. Mr. Jason the Extinct, how you doing, buddy? I was gonna use that because you were wearing the dino costume.
I tried. That thing is not going to work for this.
Why? Like, that would have been amazing.
It does not breathe.
I had so many dino DNA
did.
jokes. So disappointing.
We don't want to just wait for the point I just tipped over and passed out.
I would have been okay with that.
That would be a good part of the show.
Also, I can't drink in the dino costume.
Nobody, hey, you know, where there's a will.
There's a way.
You could have put the whiskey inside the dino
Make
costume.
the small hole.
The apple juice.
Zipper.
The apple juice.
I'm sorry, the apple juice. Oops.
The apple juice that you're drinking.
Apple juice.
I got apple juice.
Have a straw going into
Water.
it. Well, then it won't be a dinosaur drinking. It's not authentic.
It's dino DNA.
right,
I just gotta
okay.
keep saying I love that. All right.
Okay, man. I have a question for you. You were gone for 2 weeks. How was the Upside Down?
Oh boy, I gotta tell you guys.
So I heard a little
That
rumor you were in the Upside Down.
place is nuts.
Fine bar.
Pleasant,
It's
right?
delightful. The greatest place you could ever vacation.
Always snowing. Isn't that nice?
It is. You can build a lot of ash snowmen.
Ah.
It's nice. It's
Did you find Barb?
She's super dead, guys.
Super dead.
Super dead.
Heard it here first.
Like
Super dead.
stuff crawling out of her mouth. Super dead.
I mean, you don't have to be dead for that.
Oh. So speaking of horror, tonight we're going to be talking about horror films. Also horror films and horror games. The best ones, our favorite ones. We've each got a list of ones we want to talk about tonight, as this is our very unqualified panel. Actually, she's the only one that's qualified. He's seen some movies and she's not blackface. And then we've got before then we're also going to have Stranger Things 2, because the series, it starts up again tomorrow, guys.
Or 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. tonight.
Oh, well, 2 a.m. tomorrow. That's
2
still
a.m.
tomorrow.
That's true.
And we're also going to discuss the month of November, because the month of November is going to be a big time. We're all going to be very thankful to eat a lot of food.
There's like a movie coming out, isn't there?
There's not one, but there's two movies. There is Thor
pretty
Ragnarok.
low budget.
Yeah, that's pretty low budget. They don't have much. But Thor Ragnarok, that little indie film, and the little film that could, Justice League.
Yes.
I don't know if you've
More
ever
Batman.
seen it. So go ahead in advance of this. Why don't you tell us who you think is going to win? And we're going to talk about that later on. You can tell us in the chat on Facebook.com or on YouTube.com right now. But like we always do, and because BC is not here, I will be doing Super Cool Nerd News. Super Cool Nerd News is sponsored by Cinelinks.com. For your news, reviews, editorials, and more, keep it on Cinelinks.com. Now, with the news. Another case of DCing. We're going to have a Deathstroke movie. That's right. Joe Manganiello had nothing to do since Matt Reeves decided to rewrite all of the Batman solo film. So now, they're going to give him his own movie. The star will also join Gareth Evans, the director of The Raid, so you know this is going to be a balls to the wall kind of movie. It's going to be another villain film that joins Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad 2, and Gotham City Sirens. Next up, in other DC news, for once DC was out-announced. What's up?
Don't bang.
DC was out-announced. David F. Sandberg, director of Lights Out and Annabelle Creation,
You're not
posted
Walter
on
Cronkite.
Reddit. I am Walter Cronkite, and this is the news. He announced on Reddit that the Shazam movie is going to come out on April 2019. He says because it's hard to make a movie with VFX, so Shazam! Alright, in unfortunate news, Konami has announced a release date for Metal Gear Survive. In even more unfortunate news, Metal Gear Survive is still a thing. It'll be coming out in February. Nobody cares. It's next year. Finally, good news! Dragon Ball FighterZ has a release date. The 2D anime fighter will blow up our consoles on January 26, 2018. Finally, with Assassin's Creed Origins releasing tomorrow, Ubisoft has unveiled a brand new launch trailer that makes 86 trailers since June and officially beats out Justice League, who just released their 85th trailer. You can read my review of it on Cinelinks.com right now. Not Justice League, Assassin's Creed Origins, because I played it. This has been Super Cool Nerd News, brought to you by Cinelinks.com. That's it for the news!
Wow. I was trying so hard not to laugh through the entire
Wow,
thing.
he actually did it.
I told you I was going to do it.
Oh my God,
I didn't believe you.
I did it.
I'm so proud of you.
I commit, okay?
Okay,
I commit for you and not them. Okay, so
Deathstroke.
let's talk about the biggest news. Deathstroke is getting its own film, which is really surprising because Joe Manganiello, which is a really hard name to say, he hasn't proven himself to be a Deathstroke yet. So why are we getting a solo film now?
He's got the look.
I mean, he's beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
DC doesn't care
You're
about
right,
that.
you're right.
DC has not put good thought into anything they've done
Other than
since
Wonder Woman.
Man of Steel.
Where's the
No,
Wonder Woman is
Is
a
it an anomaly?
miracle.
Was that the anomaly?
It was the anomaly. It was
It
the
was
miracle
incredible.
that nobody
It was-
expected and
It
we
was the
didn't
exception.
deserve.
It was the exception, not the rule.
I think what we need to qualify this though is that that wasn't DC and Warner Brothers. That was Patty Jenkins.
That
And
was
Patty
Patty
Jenkins is
100%.
amazing. All right, so
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
And unfortunately, Patty Jenkins is not going to be doing this film. But I think on a quality note, it's going to be the Raid director. And if you've seen the Raid, I mean, that is a ridiculous film. Like the fight choreography is probably it's in my top 2 of best fight
Absolutely.
choreography I've ever seen in a film.
I have rewatched those films so many times.
It's incredible.
And I was so glad to have those guys in Rogue Squadron. But seriously, check out both Raid movies.
Yeah.
Watch them both.
They're insane. And
So-
if you haven't seen the Raid, but you have seen Dredd, think of it like this: the whole plot of Dredd, but with a hell of a lot more action, and you just take away the sci-fi aspect.
No, you mean Dredd as in the Judge Dredd reboot
Yeah,
they did
yeah,
a few
yeah.
years ago. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
which that movie actually came out after the Raid.
Ooh.
So everybody was like, "Wait a second, is this a Raid
It
ripoff?"
looks very similar.
It looks very similar.
Guess what, guys? It's the same
Wait,
director.
nobody at the table has seen the Raid besides me and Matt.
I haven't seen the Raid.
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yes.
It's so good. That's
We're-
why I actually have faith in this movie.
Okay.
But that's the
And
only reason I
to be
have
fair, if you're going to make a Deathstroke movie, you have to have amazing fight choreography.
Exactly, yes.
Like, honestly, it's like Arrow. The
Mm-hmm.
reason that Arrow works, the only reason that Arrow works,
Yes.
is because the fight choreography is so beautiful. And if you're doing a character like that,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be amazing.
I think it's beautiful to TV standards, I would say.
Well, yes.
Yeah, like CW
We're
standards.
not saying these are the Amazons flipping over their horses, but it's solid for a TV
Sure,
show.
sure.
And that you have to with these types of characters. That's so important.
Also, Manu Bennett. Manu Bennett's legit.
Manu Bennett's legit.
I love Manu Bennett.
Oh my baby.
So here- here's
Be Deathstroke.
no, he won't.
Here's my question about this Deathstroke movie, because DC has come up with saying one thing and another thing. Where is this going to fall within the DC timeline? Is Ben Affleck going to be involved in any sort of way? Because can you really do Deathstroke without either the Teen Titans or without Batman? I mean, because he's more of a villain.
Well, I think you can do it without the Teen Titans. I mean, yes, he is a main villain in the Teen Titans series, and I would hope that we see him later on in the Teen Titans, like, actual TV show that they're going to make on the DC app. But I feel like they've changed so many things as it is. Like, you could make Batman be his main villain or something like that. I don't know. His main antagonist. Yeah.
Yeah, I just...
The whole concept of Deathstroke is he is a merc for hire. So
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah.
You can put
him anywhere.
You're wide open on this.
I'm curious if this is going to be an origin story. And
God, no.
What I'm also
I
curious
hope
too
not.
is if you have to
Plus,
introduce him though. You have to introduce him in some way. Are you going to introduce him in the Matt Reeves Ben Affleck film? I don't know. Like even Joe Manganiello doesn't know because whenever he was asked about it, he was like, "Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that project right now."
I say do it in flashbacks because honestly, in the comics, Deathstroke's origin is not very. They would change it to make it more interesting.
Well, let's pivot over to you then. In the comics, is there a compelling story to talk about for Deathstroke?
Oh, absolutely. Well, Jericho, you know the character. One of the Teen Titans, Jericho, is actually Slade's son.
Yeah.
And Slade's actually pretty tragic when you think about it. Like, he killed, in Judah's contract, he had to kill his son. Mm-hmm. And I think on that basis, he is more of a... He does have some depth as a character, just his life and being a mercenary and some of the things he's done, which is why I say this movie can work. You don't need Batman or anybody. He doesn't need an outside person. Mm-hmm. Put Slade against massive forces and let him prevail. There you go.
Okay. I still would be curious. I still want to see him in this solo Batman film.
I do too. I still got hopes for that. I mean, I'm a huge Batman mark, so I'm always going to think everything Batman is great, with the exception being Batman and Robin. Oh God,
George Clooney?
Yeah. Oh God.
Freeze. Roundhouse kick.
Because the last I heard, they're gonna make it like a noir film for Batman, and then they're changing it up again and again, and then how is Deathstroke gonna be? Is it gonna be like all? I mean, of course, with the director from The Raid, of course, it's gonna be very actiony and a great fight choreography.
I don't know if you can actually make up a word. Actiony.
Actiony.
We are in the South. We can make up words.
Action packed. I don't know. Action oriented.
I don't know. It's a. Oh, I can't think of the word.
Anyways,
or as in the Assassin's Creed Origins. In this latest launch trailer, it had one of the people's review, or one publication's review was Fast and Furious, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Can we not use that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you took that from the
alone?
Fast and Furious like actual movie review.
There's 8 of those that it's like you can think of something better than that.
Well, then that brings me to Assassin's Creed Origins. We've had a lot of trailers for this game, and I know you're a big fan of Assassin's Creed in general.
I am.
So you're already invested, right?
Yes.
So you don't need the 20 some odd trailers that they've been releasing since June.
I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched 2
Okay.
of them. I don't care. Like, yeah, it's pre-ordered. It's been pre-ordered since June.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched it because I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you're not into the Assassin's Creed lore, if you're not into the games at this point, they're not that complicated.
No, they're really not.
It's literally, there's somewhat of a storyline, and you go and you kill people. And if you don't need trailers for that.
It's true.
I'm not angry with them for putting them out. I just, I don't care. I was already going to play the game.
Is it all shooty, stabby?
In this game, maybe not as shooty.
Yeah, not shooty, definitely not.
stabby.
Okay.
And that's fine.
You can shoot arrows, you're right.
Technically.
Okay, now
The mechanics of that are weird.
I don't know.
The mechanics
I know
of
there's
Assassin's Creed have always been weird.
For that new system.
Yeah, they took
I am
out
too. I'm excited.
the old system and
Yeah.
they added in a whole new one, and it's cool.
And I'm excited
but it's
for
a
it.
little clunky at times, and it really punishes you for getting caught. And if you get stuck in like a giant, I guess if you get ganged up on, you get punished for that. So they want you to use
that's kind
stealth.
of going back to and pun not intended. They're going back to their origins.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the most recent games, if you needed to, you could just kick everyone's ass and leave.
Yeah.
And you really couldn't do that in the first couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
You really, if
Especially
you got
now with
caught,
Altair.
Yeah, like if you got caught, you're gonna die. It's gonna happen.
I died so many times in that final battle just because there were so many guys coming at you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I kind of like that more. I do wish that the graphics in the early that they weren't as clunky because oh my god, the times I jumped off a building and just jumped all the way to the ground and died. There's way too many. But if they fix stuff like that, then I'm okay with getting punished for being caught.
Yeah.
That makes sense as an assassin.
Yes.
You can't get cut as an assassin.
That makes sense.
You can't cut your finger off if you're an assassin.
So if you haven't played the games, you should definitely. I would say this: play game 1, or at least YouTube them. But play 1, play 2, play Brotherhood, skip Revelations, maybe play 3. At that point, you're invested in Desmond. Play Black Flag.
Play Black Flag.
That's the only one I've actually invested a lot of time into because I played a little bit of the first one, couldn't get into it. Then I started playing the one where it's the Here in America.
That's 3.
3, which was okay. It was cool, but I never finished it. And then I didn't play any of the other games. And then Cass was like, "Hey, you need to play Black Flag." So a few weeks ago, I went out and bought Black Flag, and I can't stop playing that game.
It's amazing. I do a cosplay of the protagonist because I love that game so much. Yes, Kenway. He's my hero.
It's a pretty badass cosplay. There's a photo of it on SCNS.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first bought my PS4, one of the first games I got was Black Flag, and it blew me away.
Game.
I love that game. You can skip Unity though; that's garbage. And Syndicate, it's all right.
Syndicate's thoroughly okay.
It's okay. It's just there.
Okay,
but now what Ubisoft has done though is that they've waited a year, and they're doing it biannual releases, which is great because I think that helps Origins. And I gotta say, this is the best Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag.
Ooh.
But Black Flag is head and shoulders above everything else.
All right, now I have a question then, because you said they're releasing so many trailers.
Well, they've already done that.
Well, that's right. It comes out midnight tonight. Could it be that the sales are not as high as they hoped, and they're just really trying to push this game?
I think probably, and the reason I say that is because I think with all the games that they released, so many fans probably just got out of the series. You know, after Black Flag, probably a lot of people were just like, screw it, I'm done. I'm not playing Assassin's Creed anymore. Because Unity screwed them. Unity has screwed a lot of people over. So I know a lot of people didn't even go play Syndicate. I didn't even want to play Syndicate. Because after Unity was...
just whatever.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was the worst game of the whole franchise. So I would say that probably because sales are down, and also because they want to just bring people back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Rob mentioned in the chat his picks for games for the Assassin's Creed games you need to play.
Oh, he'd say Rogue. I know he does.
2, Brotherhood, Black Flag, Rogue, and Syndicate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention Rogue.
Rob mentioned in the chat his...
But that's the unfortunate thing, is that Rogue came out at the exact same time as Unity. And there was
these 2 games at the same time?
Yeah. There were no promotions.
They were just throwing at the wall for a while.
Yes. There were no promotions for Rogue at all.
Yeah.
It was all Unity. And Unity was hot garbage, and Rogue was actually pretty good.
I never even played it. I couldn't. I
haven't
missed it.
Yeah. Well, because there was no promotion. I don't blame you for missing it.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
I didn't hear about either one. I saw one of them. I think I have Syndicate. I think I got a Black Friday last year for like $10.
Shoot, you've overpaid.
So
I was going to say that's as much as I think I would pay for Syndicate.
Either that or Brotherhood. It's one of them. It's still sitting there in its wrapper. So
yeah. But I would say Origins could bring people back to the series.
I mean, I will absolutely be playing it. At this point, I don't even care. I just want to stab people.
It is the most brutal one I've played.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's freaking crazy, and you'll see it in the opening scenes. It's
yay.
Okay, so speaking of more video games, I don't want to talk about Metal Gear Survive because that's hot garbage. But Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Hey.
January 26th, 2018. I thought this was going to be a February release, but they pushed it up to January, and this game looks so good.
The anticipation. There we go.
Use words.
Wordy, shooty, stabby.
Yeah.
The anticipation of this game, I think, has been. It's like, oh, you know what? We've got it all fixed. We got it all ready. Let's just push it up. Let's just give the fans what they want. I mean, Dragon Ball Z's been around since what? Early 90s?
90s, man.
90s?
Yeah.
We're all too young for that.
We're all too young.
Wait, they're too young.
Even the original Dragon Ball. Come on.
When did the original Dragon Ball come out?
80s?
I think it was 82.
I've watched every
I'll find
episode.
out. But honestly, the game looks like it is an episode.
Yes.
The art in this game. I love
I'm
the
so-
cel
It's
shading and
incredible.
art.
I'm so
Yes.
glad that they went away from the 3D aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because that took you kind of out of it.
It looks so good though. Like that.
It looks incredible in this 2D anime shell shading. Yeah. Shell shading redemption.
No, I mean, I've played my fair share of Dragon Ball Z games before with my brothers when we were younger. Sorry, Cora, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, one thing I always liked in games like this one that's coming out, and like with Okami, where it's got just the cell shading, but it looks like paper. Like it looks like it's I know what I'm trying to say. I promise I do.
No, you're good. It's the black paint. It's getting to your head right now.
I have the dates, by the way. Dragon Ball first debuted in manga form in 1984 and anime in 1986.
86.
Oh,
wow. I wasn't even born.
I wasn't born yet either.
No one on the panel up here was born.
Nope.
Not yet.
We as youngins.
We as youngins.
Except for
Aw, you're old. Okay, so Dragon Ball FighterZ, I'm excited for, and I love that they announced Son Goku is going to be, or Gohan is going to be on there. So we got young Gohan. That was my favorite Gohan. I was so mad when they did the Great Saiyan Man.
he became.
He became such a wimp. I was so mad because after the Cell series, I was like, yeah, Gohan's gonna lead it all. He's gonna be the man going forward. And then Majin Buu Saga happens, and he's the freaking Great Saiyan Man. He's like, I gotta make it to class, but I want to be a superhero. I did it so
you
much.
can't do both because if you go to class and the world's gonna end anyways, if you become a superhero, you might die, so you don't need class. So,
Has anybody watched Dragon Ball Super?
Yes.
Okay, I've been
You
keeping
have
up with it.
Crunchyroll. You should be watching.
It's really good, actually. I love it.
Time.
There's one part where Gohan is talking about how he wants to be a fighter again. He wants to join his dad in the tournament. And then he's like, cool, it's going to be like tomorrow, and we're going to be leaving like right now. And he's like, no, can't do it. I got like this seminar over here. I got to help Videl take care of the kid. I got to go do this, do this, do this, do this.
it's
and
a tournament. You have to go fight people. Go.
I hate you. I used to love you, Gohan.
But anyways, January when? January what?
January 26, 2018.
And it's gonna be Xbox, Xbox One, PS4.
Yeah, all the consoles
But
except
not
for Nintendo
Switch.
Switch.
Not
Yeah.
Switch.
Which I mean that might happen later on. Okay, so
We've been saying that for a while about the Switch, though.
I love my Switch.
Okay.
My Switch is great.
That's awesome.
Super Mario Odyssey comes out tomorrow, and that is what I will be on.
There you go.
Tell me how it is, because that was like one of the few games I wanted for it. Like that and Breath of the Wild were all I wanted.
Oh yeah. Well, just think about this. Super Mario Odyssey is going to come out tomorrow. Nintendo could have two of the highest rated games come out in the same year. When was the last time we've said that about Nintendo?
Been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and they've got the highest, or one of the highest earning consoles out in the same year too. So Nintendo could be back in a weird way.
Yay!
Props to Nintendo. The Switch is still kind of stupid.
I love my Switch. How dare you?
I want to Switch, but I'm poor and I can't afford a Switch.
What a soulless ginger. All right, so this one is gonna pertain to you in a way because you love David S. Sandberg.
I do. I like him. I do like him. Before he actually got really famous, he did a series of short
Because
films.
you love David S. Sandberg. You do it every week, you know that,
I
right?
do.
like
I do
every
like
single
him.
week you turn something on.
Before he.
You're like, hold up, let me just turn on my phone. You just love this. David S. Sandberg. You do it every week, you know that,
I
right?
do.
DC is
I do like him.
He is. I hear the screams from LA.
If anyone else
And
learned
it's-
how to do the board, they would understand why that happened.
It's
okay.
actually like it's actually his normal voice. It's not him screaming, but I hear it from LA. But yeah, so David F. Sandberg.
You saw that in the chat. Rob's gonna cut it down.
Because of my black
With the
face.
blackface.
That's
Rob, I told
absolutely
you.
fair.
I told you, Rob. It's not blackface, man.
I am a
I
beautiful.
said no whenever I saw it. I said no.
I'm a beautiful shadow
You said
boy.
awesome. at
No.
first.
He goes, well,
You said
I'm
awesome.
in the middle of writing up all these stories, and then they're like, hey, Hannah's going to be Rob tonight. And I was like,
Cora's
going to be Rob tonight. I'm like, I was like, awesome. And then I'm like, oh, no.
And then he looks up.
Yeah.
And I want to paint a picture for y'all. Literally, I didn't have the full face done yet. It was just like a ring around and then like raccoon eyes.
Nope, should not have said that. All right. You were talking about David F. Sandberg. He had a delightful series.
David F. Sandberg. He did a
famous
series of horror short films with his wife.
Oh, cool.
Where basically she did the acting and he did everything else, and they're gorgeous.
Really?
Like less than no budget, literally just like a scary doll in a closet. But he made them look amazing, and so he is kind of my hero.
Okay.
For that low budget effect. I haven't actually seen a lot of his stuff since he became famous, but I've seen all of those, and I did see Annabelle Creation. And it was gorgeous.
Which is
and
now out on DVD.
It was such a good movie. Yeah. It is. It came out on DVD like last week.
Tuesday. Yeah. This past
weekend. And it's an amazing movie. And he has this ability to, if you want to make a good horror movie, you have to make me care about your characters.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm going to be like, oh no, they died. And you're not going to care. And Annabelle Creation stressed me out because I was so focused on the characters because I had gotten to know them and I'd gotten to love them. And he's so good at that.
Watching horror films is as entertaining as watching the horror film itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it's a good horror film.
See, for me, when I watch a horror film, I cringe, and I'm just like, get out!
See, that's same way.
Don't do it!
Like,
same. I cringe,
that's what I like
and
watching.
then I lean forward and I'm like, that's so pretty. Look at the scary clown.
See, I don't do that. I'm just like, I gotta go. We gotta do this. Why are we watching this? This is stupid. Don't do it! Like, my wife, if she's watching, she knows this is true. Watched the Babadook, and it was terrifying. Anyway, so he also did Lights Out, which was the most terrifying trailer I've ever seen in my life.
That was based off a short film that he did.
Really?
Yep.
That has it was terrifying.
I could not sleep for a while.
Seriously, the face. It's so creepy.
It was only 7 minutes long, wasn't it? Like,
yeah.
It makes me curious, though, if Shazam is going to have that sort of horror theme to it in a way, or at least kind of under it.
I think his ability to have an element and focus on that element and still make you care about the characters, I think is going to translate so well into Shazam, because I don't give a single about Shazam. I don't care about him. I never have. Yeah. And so in order to kind of bring all that magic into the forefront, I think he'll be amazing for it.
I think he'll do great just because, I didn't see Lights Out. I saw bits and pieces of it, like here and there. But with Annabelle Creation, though, he had to work with a lot of kids, and you cared about those kids. Mm-hmm. And as we know, Shazam is a kid. Yeah. That says Shazam, and he turns into Shazam. So I think along the horror-esque thing he's been doing, like he was like, all right, here's this kid who's been given these superpowers. He's scared shitless out of his mind about becoming a superhero. Could go along the lines of that and make you care about the character. So,
well, we can all agree that despite DC's questionable activities, they did make two good choices in their directors for Shazam and in
Patty Jenkins.
Well, we have Patty Jenkins and Deathstroke. Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to Stranger Things 2. It comes out tonight at 2 a.m. or midnight if you're in LA. So Stranger Things Season 2 is going to come out. Let's just go over, what do we want to see in this season?
I would like to see some more Stranger Things.
That's accurate. Yeah.
Here is a Stranger Thing.
Just even more.
Another strange thing. Stranger.
What about things that are stranger, but twice?
I'll accept that.
Okay.
I'm flexible on this as long as strange and thing are in the same sentence describing the same
two things that are stranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have the kids just be themselves and walk around and point out strange things, and I'd probably be happy. Yeah, because they're so talented.
Treasure.
Yeah, they are great.
They're all national treasures.
I love how they're channeling Ghostbusters in this season.
So hard. I love it.
Did you know they had to get permission from David Ackard?
Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
They had to get permission from him.
That's good job. Talk about national treasures. Butchered Dan Aykroyd's name.
Seriously.
Wow.
He's channeling BC.
Yeah, I am channeling BC.
Even BC would know how to pronounce Dan Aykroyd.
I don't know.
Anyways, they had to ask him for permission to use the Ghostbusters stuff, and
I didn't know he owned the rights.
and him and some other guy, I can't remember who it was. They I read an article about it, but they after like, yeah, here.
Did you?
And they sent a ton of toys and stuff and say, here, use this in the show. We can use all this stuff in the show. So
Oh, that's so cool.
we might be seeing a lot of Ghostbusting in there. I just finished the season. Actually, season 1. I finished it today because I slacked off and didn't watch it all, and saw the panel at San Diego and had no idea what was going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that hate you right now.
I know.
You went to a San Diego Comic-Con panel
It
for
was in
Stranger
the
Things,
panel.
and you had no idea what was going on.
Now, when Barb showed up, I'm like, oh, look, it's that one girl that I saw in the trailer with the glasses.
Okay, which, thank you, everyone, for not saying you want to see Barb, because she is dead.
I want to see Barb.
She is dead.
You don't know that.
She is. We saw a scene of her dead.
Oh, you little faith.
She's dead. She's in the upside down. She's got stuff crawling out of her. She dead.
She dead. Okay.
Wait,
so,
is she dead?
She dead.
She dead?
Are you
Dead
sure
sheep.
though?
Dead.
What
Yeah,
killjoy.
dead.
Super dead.
Super dead. Not alive. Never come back. Dead. Afterlife.
But wait, what if the stranger thing we get is her coming back?
as the
What
As
if
the
flower
undead.
thing is Barb?
Back. Dead.
Did you say
Afterlife.
flower?
But
And
wait.
do you not know
Wow.
its
What if
name?
the stranger
Oh my
thing we
God.
get?
There we go.
Damn.
Thank
why'd
you.
say it?
Excuse me.
The Demogorgon killed Barb.
we thought he killed Will too, so
Nah, Will
No, we
survived.
didn't not know
Wow.
its name.
Nobody thought
Stranger
they
Things.
killed
There we
Will.
go.
Damn. Did you watch the series?
I did. Five hours ago, we thought he killed Will too.
But
so.
what if?
Nah, Will
No, we
survived.
did not know
Wow.
its name.
Nobody thought they killed
There we
Will.
go.
Did you watch the series? Because she's wearing the glasses. The Demogorgons wear the glasses.
No, we did not know its name.
Nobody thought they killed Will.
There we go.
Did you watch the series? She wearing the glasses. The Demogorgons wear the glasses.
No, we did not know its name.
Nobody thought they killed Will.
There we go.
I'm gonna go with the Duffer Brothers said no. She's not in season 2, so
Is it because she's dead?
Super dead, bro.
super dead.
Super dead. I don't think I can say that enough. If you believe Barb is alive,
Shame on you.
shame. Ling ling. Shame. Ling ling ling. Shame. Ling ling ling. All right. So, Stranger Things 2. Let's get a little bit more into it, though. Like, what do we think we're going to see a lot of that giant, tentacled monster in the sky that we saw before? Because we know in the trailers that the Upside Down is going to kind of bleed into the real world. How do you stop that?
No idea. I have no idea, and I'm so excited about that. Like, there's so many shows that you're like, okay, well, this is gonna happen, and if they do that, then this is gonna happen. I have no idea what's going to happen. They could just take off in this completely other direction with it if they wanted to.
It looked like
Exactly.
Cthulhu, right?
It did.
Yeah.
How do you stop
I
an
need
Eldritch
more of
Horror?
whatever that was.
You just cry.
Same.
So now
Same.
for season 2, there are a couple additions. One of my favorite additions that they added was Sean Astin, who is going to play.
Sam?
Yes, Samwise
Sam?
Gamgee.
Fun?
Yes.
I'm so sorry,
Oh, Sam.
Oh, Sam.
But they added Sean Astin for this season, and he's
Oh,
going to play Joyce's boyfriend.
Good for him.
So he's going to be in this.
For
Of
her.
course,
And
he's.
her.
I mean, he's.
She went a little cuckoo.
She
so.
did go crazy.
Now we've got
The
one,
lights!
Lights!
one for yes, two for no.
They speak to me! Will!
Like,
She also,
honestly,
she also tore a hole in the wall with a
did.
axe.
Yeah.
I was like, go in a little later.
I don't think that's crazy.
That's your
Did
child.
you do that?
I do that all the time.
Well.
You should see her house.
It's
It's
for
pretty
fun,
awesome.
you know? Drywall, man.
Now
Easy
we
to break
lost
too.
we lost one character in season 1. We
Barb.
definitely
It was Barb. She
Barb,
died.
Is she dead?
So now
She's
it's
dead.
like, okay, now season 2, we've got clearly a bigger enemy. We know they've said there's gonna be up to 4 seasons. Now, do we kill off another major character? There's a character maybe become one of the monsters. Because we didn't have no idea what's going on.
The kid right there could become like a Will. Yeah, Will could become a monster because we saw what that dude was throwing up already at the end of season 1.
If he makes it all the way to season 4, man, I feel bad for him because he's gonna have PTSD for the rest of his life.
All of these kids are.
He gonna be dead.
He gonna be dead.
11 already does, so.
Yeah.
Does 11 make it to the end of season 4?
I think 11 will. I'm curious though. Is 11 going to show up in episode 1? Are they gonna let that permeate?
No.
I think no. I think they're gonna.
I think
leave it.
actually at least we might see her at the end of it.
You don't think she's going to be in this nearly at all?
I think we'll see her at the end of the first episode.
Yep.
I do not think you should be in it though.
I would if I was them, I would leave it for just one episode because all of us clearly love 11.
Yeah.
I'd leave
I would
it.
make an illusion that, like, little clues about her, but I wouldn't show her full force to probably, like, episode 3.
Well, they've got that box that has the waffles in it that the cop keeps bringing over there. So I wonder if they're going to use that for, like, a couple episodes. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, never going to come back, and then,
How many episodes are we getting for this season? Is it 8 or 10?
8.
It's 8?
8?
I can check. I wrote a story. I should have known this.
I'm pretty sure it's 8.
Yeah, because we got. Yeah, I thought it was 10. I was watching it this morning, and I'm like, okay, cool, episode 8, and then I got 2 more to go. I'm like, oh, it's only 8 episodes. That makes kind of sense. It's the 80s, 8.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know, weird. But I hope we do more than 8. If it's 8, awesome. I mean, the story was great. It was for season 1. It got me interested. I mean, I binged it in a day. Technically, it's only 8 hours.
Only.
We all have day jobs, but this guy
too.
goes 8 hours.
But I did that the day it came out.
Oh, actually, season 2 is made up of 9 episodes.
We got to
We're going to
I don't
the
think I
90s.
can high five you.
You just did.
I'm so sorry, Rob. My alliance is with you.
Zach Marchand
No,
says you have 8 eyes in the video, which actually have 6.
I do have 6 eyes. You're right. Yeah. Thanks, Zach. Good to see you. Matt's hard.
What 80s homage though do you want to see in it? Because clearly we're getting Ghostbusters. And
we are seeing. We're getting some thriller. Okay.
Am I the only one that's really excited about Dragon's Lair?
Yes.
No, I am.
I'm so happy. I can't believe they're
The
playing
trailer
that.
that they did that had Vincent Price's voice in there. And
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yes.
that could be the entire season, and I'd be a happy person.
So cool thing about that trailer.
Yeah.
The cool
Just
thing about
slowly in the background.
Like he's just like, and they're walking down the road. You're like, yeah, Vince.
Yeah.
I'm into this. And 11 is still not here.
So the cool thing about that when that trailer dropped at San Diego, the cast had not seen it either. So they saw it with the audience for the first time and seeing their reaction to that, knowing that they filmed all that stuff, they know what's going to be going on. Seeing their reaction, how excited they were for season 2, it's like even got the audience even more excited. So I think they're going to do really great.
I think if the kids knew that you hadn't seen season 1, but you were in the panel and you were watching that with them, they would have hated you.
get out.
They would have like thrown you in the upside down.
Oh.
Probably. Yeah. I met Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie just like starts
You
staring at you.
okay? Hold up. Hold up.
Yeah, she came to Dallas last year.
Bobby Brown,
Yeah.
and yet you had no idea who she was.
I mean, I knew who she was. I had seen it. I'd heard enough about it from Stranger Things and all that. I've seen all the cosplays. I'm like, she's 11. She's the one
I
with the
had
powers.
seen all the cosplays.
did you?
He said he had seen all the cosplays.
Oh, he said that.
And so it's fine that he met
Wow,
Millie Bobby Brown.
Ricardo, man.
You almost called me
Alright, so like, alright.
I have no idea what you did.
This is-
when I saw somebody else dressed up like you. So
This is like, okay, so this is like the bar where people like people. And Ricardo started out about here, alright?
Oh.
And at the end of this is just.
I met Mark Hamill. It's okay. I've heard of the Joker.
Oh my god, yeah. Never seen the Batman the Animated
Never
Series.
seen Batman the
Never
Animated-
seen Star Wars.
Don't know what Star
What's
Wars is,
Star
but
Wars?
I've heard of the Joker.
What are you trying to shoot at him?
It's coming in.
What are you trying to do?
just keep it.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so let's talk about something that Ricardo actually knows a little bit more about, and that's Thor Ragnarok and Justice League.
Hey.
So the month of November is going to have 2 very big films coming out, and relatively close together. So the question is, who wins and why?
I'm gonna put my money on Justice League.
Justice League. Okay.
Thor has had 2 opportunities to impress us. They've struck out twice. Now, I've heard great things about Thor Ragnarok. I've heard very great things about Thor. It had 100% at one point on Rotten Tomatoes. It's gonna do good.
Yeah, I heard it's now at 97%.
97%.
That's too low for me.
That's too low. Dang. But me, I'm gonna go with Justice League. There were rumors years ago Justice League was supposed to come out with Age of Ultron same year. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now we're getting more Batfleck. We're getting more Wonder Woman, and we're finally get to see Jason Momoa as Aquaman in a full-length feature. Other than that little cameo in BVS, we've seen Thor. One thing I'm really excited about Thor is going to be Jeff Goldblum. Because it's Jeff Goldblum. Like,
sure, yeah,
he's doing Jeff
life
Goldblum things.
Finds a way.
But just what Wonder Woman did this year in the box office.
Waiting.
Anyone else to understand?
Nobody else apparently gets that, but you know.
Affleck being Batman is awesome. Wonder Woman, like again, what she did earlier this year, and then just finally seeing just Momoa as Aquaman in a full-length feature. I think that's gonna take it for November over Thor.
Okay, all right. Cora, what do you think?
I don't have much reasoning other than my own personal preference, but Thor Ragnarok. Because A, Thor.
Sure.
B,
solid.
Thor.
That's a solid entry there.
C, Hulk.
You obviously did your research. Good
yes,
on
I did.
You. Good on you.
But also, like, as excited as I am for Justice League, I'm way more excited for Thor because the trailer seemed a lot more like a Thor movie and something I wanted to see than the previous movies have been for me. But that's just me personally. I'm weird.
So I wonder, is the excitement more in the fact that you have an established character in Thor? You know, you have Chris Hemsworth that you've seen in Avengers, you've seen in 2 Thor movies, you've seen another Avengers movie, you've seen him a lot. Is that exposure the reason why, like, you're more excited for this than Justice League?
It's possible, but also I don't put a lot of trust in DC to do things right, with the exception of Wonder Woman. So
Patty Jenkins.
Exactly. This is very true.
And Gal.
Gal did a good job.
She's charming. She's amazing.
Chris Pine too.
Chris Pine.
Chris
Pine.
That's my favorite role Chris Pine has ever been.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I'm still going to go see both, but I anticipate, enjoying Thor Ragnarok more, because it's more the style of hero movie that I like, where there's lots of action, but there's humor in it, and it doesn't take itself too seriously with a serious plot. And Justice League has been dark. Or, like, DC movies recently have been dark. Like, the lighting's been dark, the story's been kind of dark. What? I can't see very well, but I can see that you're giving me a face.
You keep saying the word dark.
Just dark, just like your makeup.
Darkness.
They should have never given you money. All right,
Cass, what do you think?
Hold on. You look amazing. You really do. Like, I love the fact that you can close your eyes and you look like Dark Link. Yeah. Like, that is amazing to me. So, like, kudos to you. That's amazing work that you did.
Thank you.
So
I'm dying.
You got to vote over here for Thor, Justice League. Swing vote.
So, I personally am more excited for Justice League because Batman's my favorite superhero. Okay. I think that Thor will take it just as far as money goes because we have an established MCU and DC has made mistake after mistake. Except for Patty Jenkins. I feel like we should just have a disclaimer at the bottom of the screen.
It always has to be there.
Everything that we say about DC does not apply to Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, does not apply to Wonder Woman.
I think that Thor Ragnarok will take it as far as money goes. I'm super excited for Justice League. I think it's going to be an interesting mix. I am a little bit nervous because of the whole Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon thing. Yeah. Because Joss Whedon's humor does not belong in that movie at all. And so... Well,
I mean, they did a lot of reshoots.
They did. And I'm so worried about
maybe this is a Joss Whedon movie and not a Zack Snyder movie.
I've been worried about every DC movie that's come out, and I didn't have to be worried about one of them. Because Wonder Woman.
Well, okay, so when we started out the summer, we talked about what movie was going to take it all, and hardly anybody except for me and you, I believe, said Wonder Woman.
Yeah, everyone else saying Spider-Man.
Everybody else said
I would like to
something
say I
else.
wasn't here.
Yeah.
If I had been here, I definitely would have said Wonder Woman.
Okay, so,
Okay.
3 people
Because-
said Wonder
But
Woman.
everyone else was saying Guardians of the Galaxy, was saying Spider-Man Homecoming, and I said, no, it's going to be Wonder Woman. Because
So
finally we have a leading woman
Sure.
in a movie, and for a superhero film, because, 9 years we've had MCU, we still haven't had a Black Widow movie. We still haven't had
Right.
Scarlet Witch movie.
Sure.
We haven't had, anything.
Scarlet Witch does not need her own movie.
See, now that makes me wonder, though, if they're going to ride that wave of momentum and then upset Thor, because you never know. It's entirely possible.
happen.
It already happened in the summer. Could they do it too for Jason?
We are still getting Captain Marvel.
That's true.
In how many years?
I'm going to go
It's like
ahead
2 or 3.
and I don't like it. I'm going to say money-wise, Justice League is going to be Thor. But I think the ratings are going to be higher on Thor.
Yeah.
I can
Of
agree.
Of
see
course,
that.
they're going to
Yeah,
be higher on Thor.
There's that Marvel bias.
Here,
No, because
It's fun
Thor's going to
to-
be fun.
It is.
Thor's going to be fun. It's going to be
Okay.
a solid movie.
Look, Thor's going to be fun, but we do have to acknowledge that there is a Marvel bias, and it is the cool thing to do to, poop on a DC movie.
Well, the Marvel
Exactly.
bias, the Marvel bias is because you're waiting for this movie is going to lead into the next thing that Marvel is going to do.
Sure.
And
I think we haven't seen a lot from DC.
say it.
No.
Okay. Okay, so
I mean, you can't just say something, start
If you're
something
talking
and then
about
just don't
Thanos
say
right
something.
now, I'm going to slap you, though. Because we've been waiting on Thanos for,
What, Jason?
Oh, you're not
say.
going to get Thanos in this movie.
Jason,
No,
say.
but,
have you
like-
watched this movie already?
No.
Have you watched this movie already?
No.
Did you watch
Have
Thor?
you watched Thor
Jay.
already?
What
Have you?
You watched
watched
Thor?
interrogation
Thor.
thing?
You watched
already?
Thor?
Why are we interrogating me live on the show?
Rob tells me all the time that you have watched Thor, but I haven't believed him because of the fact that I thought you were a little bit more honorable than that, which is you watched Thor.
No.
Can you say it without smiling?
No.
That means you're lying. You a liar.
How dare you, sir? How dare
So
you?
how was Thor?
How was Thor?
how was Thor?
Good.
How was Thor?
It was good.
Was Barb dead?
Barb's dead in
Is
this
she
movie.
dead?
What can I say? If your expectations are for what's leading into Infinity War, don't.
So it's just a fun
Oh God, it's
Marvel film.
so fun.
Yeah.
It is absolutely one of the most fun Marvel movies I've seen in quite some time.
Is my sweet Thunder Son good?
Who?
Is my sweet Thunder Son good?
Who the fuck?
Thor!
Is
Thunder Son sounds really
If
dirty.
you-
I'm
if
just
you-
telling
if
you
go to
right
my
now.
Instagram, I actually
Hello, Thunder
snuck in
Son.
a quote from the movie when I posted a picture of
Why
Thor.
Mrs.
I saw it. Yeah.
I do
saw
believe
that.
you're trying
And I
to
was waiting
seduce
for
me.
afterward when people would go,
Hello, Thunder
"Oh, you
Son.
bastard."
I don't think these things
No, I saw that and I was just like, he told me.
Well,
saw
I mean,
it.
I would also be doing this
Okay,
because
so
Chris
I
Hemsworth.
have something about Justice League. That movie's almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, that's true. That's hard.
Accusations in the chat. What the hell is it?
That's a hard sell for me to go see a 3-hour movie.
Just,
100
are
and
you kidding me?
it's like 178 minutes.
That's a long time.
That's Justice League's runtime.
That's
Yeah.
Justice League's runtime.
It's almost 3 hours.
No, it's
a long time,
177
That's
of
a
it.
beatdown.
Yeah.
If
Wonder
it's
Woman
trash.
and Aquaman.
Never mind. Thor's gonna take
Yeah,
everything.
Thor takes it.
That's
Thor
way
takes
too
it.
long.
That's true.
That's so long.
Take it back on money now.
Yeah.
That's a long
Thor wins because
Because people
too
are going
much.
to come out of Justice League saying, "Wow, that was long," and there was
Look,
so much they could have cut.
also-
out.
Okay, no, wait. People did that with Blade Runner. People came out and said, "Man, that was long." I don't think people
And
do
what
that.
happened to Blade
And what
Runner?
happened?
Yeah, Blade Runner did not get.
Blade
a lot of
Runner
money.
didn't
They
make
were a flop.
anything.
But Blade Runner. Okay, I almost fell asleep during Blade Runner 2049.
Rude.
I don't think you'll fall asleep during. I don't think you'll fall asleep during Justice League. I think it will keep you interested the entire way through. So.
That's true, but I went
Do
in.
you?
Were
Were you interested all the way through BVS?
Batman fan, yes.
Yeah, he was.
Really? Because
Yes.
Superman ran around going
It just
for like 30 minutes.
it just reinforced the idea of why I hate Superman and why he's a little bitch. So
What if I didn't save that guy because I didn't want to save that? Nobody cares.
No, nobody cares. He's
Nobody
dead.
cares.
All right, so
Actual topic now for like 30 minutes.
I will say this, final note. I knew going into Lord of the Rings,
What
I
if
was
I
in for
didn't
a
save
3 hour
that guy because they didn't want
A
to?
lot of people are not going to be into that for Justice League.
Yeah.
So
It worked for Lord of the Rings.
it
though.
did. It did.
Didn't work for the Hobbit.
Not for the
The
Hobbit.
The Hobbit should have been one movie,
Should have been 2
Maybe
movies.
2.
maybe 2.
Let's go for 2.
I would say 2 movies.
It definitely didn't need a third.
That 3rd movie was garbage.
I didn't even see it.
It was terrible.
Oh, the Mario physics. Where he ran up the falling rocks.
Yes.
I heard the theme song.
The movie he's not supposed to be in. Alright, so let's get into horror films. Because on Tuesday is Halloween!
Halloween.
Or as I call it, my kids get me candy night.
Seriously.
If you watched the latest episode of South Park, that's Witch Week. So where, all the guys in South Park go get drunk and do meth. Alright, so, it was crack? It was crack.
Crack,
All right.
meth, same
There
thing.
is
Kind of the same
no,
thing.
there is a
No,
difference.
let's not get those two confused.
All right, new topic. Meth, crack. What's the difference? All right,
So
so
according to Walter White, no.
let's get into horror films and or games. Let's start with horror films, and we'll go around the room. Ricardo, let's start with you. What is your favorite horror film?
One of my all-time favorite, and it's only the first one, not the abomination that came afterwards, but the first Saw. Because it was a different type of horror. The first one wasn't too gory. It was interesting. Because like, all right, cool. It's like you can save your life. You gotta mutilate yourself a little bit. And is it worth your life? Like, are you really willing to go that far? It really messed with your head. I thought it was great. It's one of my favorite all-time horror films. There are others, but do you guys have those? And would you guys speak about your favorite?
Because we stole them in the pre-show.
We had a lot of crossover.
We did have a lot of crossover.
But Saw is definitely one of my favorites up there. Lee Whannell did a great job writing that, and
Can I get a shout out for James Wan?
James Wan!
Yes!
He has done a great job, with the exception being Dead Silence. He's done a great job in the horror genre, and I'm excited for what he's going to do for Aquaman.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be sick. Cora or Dark Link, I don't know which one to call you now.
Or Zelda.
You just look again. It goes down.
Seriously.
So this one, your favorite one, is it's actually one that's kind of near and dear to your heart a little bit.
Yeah, I like the Babadook. Dook. What I really liked about this film, because it was one that I was avoiding because I generally don't really like horror films because I get scared really easy. Let's just leave it at that.
Yep.
Working at a haunted house did not save me. But what I really liked about the Babadook was that like it was more psychological than it. Like, it had the monster in it, obviously, but it was really psychological. And I love psychological horror, like The Shining, things like that. I love psych stuff. And so watching that, the way they shot it was really well done. The silence had a purpose in it. It wasn't just there to be irritating. Because then when there was noise, you knew something was up. And it worked out so well. And I love that they used the Babadook as like a metaphor for mourning and depression, which is what made it just like hurt more. Because now you have this horrible physical manifestation of this woman's just anger, depression, grief, and I could go on about this for a long time. I'm trying not to.
Well, we can all agree we wanted to kill that kid along with that mother. Cass, what would you say is one of your favorites?
Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of a disclaimer on this. I started watching horror movies about a year ago.
Okay.
By the way,
a little late to the party.
If you have anxiety, try horror movies. Honestly, they give your anxiety somewhere to go, and I have anxiety and I have. So I started watching horror movies, and
it's been a fun journey.
It has been. I've been on this like year-long just binge of every horror movie I can find. And so one of mine actually came out this year, and it's the new It. Nice. I've seen the old one, and the old one is very charming.
It's charm. It doesn't hold up now.
It doesn't hold up.
We played on our phones mostly while watching that one.
The new It is stunning. It's such an interesting character, and Bill Skarsgård did an amazing job. And so
Georgie?
did the kids. And honestly, all of that nostalgia is kind of wrapped up. And you want to talk about metaphors, like his whole thing is, what are you afraid of? And I love that. It's such an interesting thing to be able to morph into all these different things. And also, it's not just focused on this one monster. It's this whole plethora of things, including how the entire town kind of treats these children who are experiencing all this horror. There's this one scene where, not too many spoilers, but a guy is being tortured by some bullies, and he cries out for help, and a car goes past, and it's adults, and they're looking at him. They're staring at him, and they're not doing anything.
Wow.
And that's the whole movie kind of summed up in one thing is, no one's helping you. No one's going to do anything. You are on your own. And that's so terrifying.
Hence why they're the losers.
Exactly. It was an amazing movie, and I've already seen it 2 or 3 times, and I'm going to buy it and watch it over and over because it was so good.
That's awesome. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I actually hate horror films, and that's mainly because I don't like being scared. It's a weird thing. I just don't like it.
I get you.
My wife loves horror films, so a good portion of the films that I have seen that are horror-related are because of her. And also, another little disclaimer, that woman, whenever I go out of town for business, she watches horror films. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm watching horror films. And then the next morning, I'll be like, that are horror-related or because of her. She's like, no, I didn't sleep well because I was watching horror films. I had bad dreams. I go out of town for business. It's the weird vicious circle. Anyway, so my favorite horror film, though, is Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, yeah.
Joss Whedon's 2009 epic. I love that film because also, Chris Hemsworth wasn't famous back then. He wasn't even Thor. He wasn't even thought of to be Thor back then. And this film was absolutely amazing. Just because it meshed every single genre of the horror franchise into one nice little package and then gave you a reason for why everything happens.
Just you mentioning that makes me want to go watch that one.
It's amazing.
It's great. It's. Oh
I watched it less than a week ago.
Yeah?
Because I love that movie so much.
So good. It is actually probably on my top 5 of all-time favorite movies, just in general.
I love
that.
That whole cast meshed really well. Bradley Whitford's amazing in it.
Yeah, I didn't even know who he was at first.
Right?
Yeah.
Watch The West Wing. If you've never seen The West Wing, watch The West Wing, and then go watch Cabin in the Woods. It's amazing.
Aaron Sorkin. Jason, what would you say is one of your favorites?
A lot of things that scared me as a kid were books, because I was told, oh, don't read that book, you're not old enough to read that book. So I'd go and read it in my room late at night under a blanket with a flashlight. And then it's like, oh, I finished that book. Now I'm terrified and have to go to sleep. But as a kid, honestly, it was Alien. Because it was always something you couldn't see that got you.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just you were scared, you were dead.
Yeah.
So when they made Aliens and increased the amount of them, it was like, oh, nope. So
you did.
It's more just like
super dead.
Just like Barb.
Just so dead. Barb dead.
And they swarmed. They swarmed like ants. Like ants, like as big as you are, enough ants will fuck you up as a human being.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah, they will.
So increase the size of ants and give them dagger tails and acid spit. And if you cut one open, they bleed acid on you. Just to hell with this creature.
And then don't forget the face huggers.
Yeah, the face rape.
Yeah.
That is what is
my worst nightmare. I can't.
The most terrifying thing is
I never understood why they went up to a freaking egg and they were like, "What's in here?"
Let's poke
look,
it.
Something's moving. Let me get a closer look.
Pokemon stick.
Go away. Hey, can you bring me something on fire?
I would, burn it all. Burn it all. If I saw eggs, I'd be like, "This species doesn't need to live." What? If I see alien eggs,
literally anything in space, I'm not gonna let it touch me.
Absolutely.
They run across the room. One of them latches on someone's face. They take the guy back, and holy crap, there was something inside there. We should blow up all of this.
Yeah, just burn it down.
Fire cleanses all. So it was that, and then Predator came along, and it was like, Or I'm screwed.
Yeah, Predator's not like horror
not
though.
horror,
It's an action
but
film.
when they were in that same kind of genre for me. Like they crossed over.
I know they fought each other at some point.
There's definitely. I
There were a
mean,
couple
a
movies
movie
about that,
can
right?
be two genres. You can't bring up Cabin in the Woods and be like, oh, but that's not a horror movie.
It's not,
Cabin in the Woods is
It's
half
an
a horror
in-genre
movie.
exactly.
It is, yes.
because in horror films for me, what scares me is like if you look at Predator and Aliens. Once you find out what it is, you are dead.
I got a good
Yeah.
point though.
I actually do too.
You cannot have Arnold Schwarzenegger and call that a horror film, okay? You cannot do it. That is an action
Get to
film,
the
and
chopper.
you know it.
What does it say that Danny? Glover
no, I got nothing.
I've got a fun fact about Cabin in the Woods. So this was during the height of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
This is Left 4 Dead 2. It's actually for the second one.
I thought he was going to say the movie for a second.
No, Left 4 Dead 2. Video game. You were 4 characters. You had to
That
go
wasn't
through
a movie.
Louisiana, get to the
Dead Island wasn't a game. It was when the movie was a game.
Dead Island was a
Did you say
was a game.
Oh, I thought you
What's
said
the
Deadite,
shoot?
and I was
It's
about to be like,
it's the-
speaking of horror movies that I love.
It's the arcade game where you shot zombies, but they made a horror.
House of Dead.
Are you talking
House
about
of the Dead,
yeah.
every arcade game ever?
Yeah,
No.
literally.
Okay, so
Oh yeah,
Okay.
shoot at the zombies.
so Left 4 Dead 2
Talk
was a
about that
sequel to the first
specific
one that came out. It was out for Xbox 360 at the time. If you go back and watch Cabin in the Woods, minor spoiler, the part where you see all the creatures,
Yeah.
if you look closely, you can actually see the smoker, the hunter, and the
Boomer, right?
the boomer. Yeah, the boomer.
Yeah.
In there, because there was supposed to be a download for Left 4 Dead 2 where you would play in Cabin in the Woods and go through the levels.
Yeah.
Now, the company that did Left 4 Dead ended up, because the movie got
It
postponed.
got delayed
By,
like
like,
2
2
years.
years.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
filmed in 2009, came out in 2011. It never happened, and it made me so. When I found out about it, I'm like, I would have loved to have played that part of Left 4 Dead 2 because that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but 2 years later, nobody's playing Left 4 Dead 2.
No,
Exactly.
We need a third one.
No, we don't.
Yes, we did. Those are
No.
great games.
No, they're okay. It's
You're okay.
Survival dead.
You're okay.
Zombie games are like, eh. Like, I was actually surprised whenever they came out with Dead Rising 4. I was really shocked when they came out with that.
That was an okay game.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna stop beating this dead horse when it stops pumping out money.
That's true.
Assassin's Creed.
This game feels more like a movie than Michael Fassbender's.
It's because that movie was garbage.
Hot
It was
garbage.
so terrible.
We're gonna snake draft this actually. And
Okay.
Jason, what is your second one?
Movie or video game?
Dead Space.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor
Oh,
Visceral.
God. Well, okay, and I've told y'all this story before, but playing Dead Space in my living room one time, because you see how my living room, there's 2 paths you can walk around.
Sure, yeah.
So my wife took the one where I couldn't see her because I had all the lights out playing Dead Space. Why, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
Because that's how you play
Yeah,
that
you
game.
do.
so I'm sitting in front of the TV, and she walks from the kitchen behind the chair. I don't know she's there. And then something scares me on Dead Space enough that I go, oh, but she screams. So it's like, it's
That's
a double
amazing.
scream for me, and I almost threw her controller in.
That's pretty great.
So the Dead Space games, just because, like I said, in the same genre,
Well, it's aliens. It's
once
in
you
space.
see it-
Yeah.
That's the one with the
It might be too late.
That's the one with the
You're about to
witch.
die.
Yeah.
No.
The witch that screams.
No.
What is that
No,
game?
that's Destiny.
No, Dead Space has like the alien, like people's bodies are transformed, and your deaths.
Yes, I
are
played that one.
glorious.
That is terrifying.
That's a terrifying.
Where,
game.
Yeah, we used to play in the
your
house.
head pops off as things like pull your head off. Oh.
Speaking of terrifying games, I did actually just review one called Echo.
Ooh.
That game is creepy as hell.
Echo.
Is it more scary than Evil Within 2? Because
Is
It's definitely more scary than that.
Is it scarier than the Shadow Temple in Ocarina of
Yeah.
Time?
No, it's just scarier than the
don't
bottom
think-
of the well.
At the bottom of the
I
well?
don't think nothing is as scary as that.
Ryan has a good
Seriously.
choice from the chat.
What?
Fear, the video game.
Oh yeah, that series is pretty good. Nice
Never
job.
played that.
It's worth a download.
No,
can
Echo.
play more
Echo is
horror.
one where like whatever you do, these clones will mimic you.
Nope.
Ooh.
No.
And then if you
no.
like, if basically whenever the game resets, because the palace continuously resets after you do something, every one of those clones that you kill comes right back up.
Ooh.
And they can do whatever you do. So if you use a gun, they can now use a gun. If you open a door, they can open the door.
That's a big old bag of nope.
Oh,
that game is terrifying as hell.
Where can we find this game?
So
Like Xbox or PS?
Xbox? Oh, no, it's just PS4.
Just PS4
PS4 and
exclusive?
Steam. PS4 and Steam.
So basically,
Cash,
you're
wanna hang
fighting. You're basically fighting souped-up versions of Shadow Link from the Water Temple, because he could do all the moves that you did
true.
in that battle.
Pretty much.
And he has your. By the way, he has your same health. For people that didn't know that, that's some bullshit. If you have all your health,
That's why that fight pisses me off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had two left. One, I'm gonna just throw out. One of my other movies was The Grudge, because I hate that freaking movie. And then the other one, Resident Evil #1. That game scared the crap out of me.
Game.
Like I remember growing up playing that game. My brother and I turned it on. My parents didn't know anything about it. We rented it at the time, and so we had the lights
Blockbuster?
off. No, it was like a local video store. 'Cause I didn't like Blockbuster because it made no sense to me. So we turned off
That's
all the
why it's
lights.
out of business, 'cause
It is, and I am thankful for it.
Actually, there's still one.
So it was all dark. It's nighttime. Lights are out. My brother and I turned this game on, and that first scene where it's the first zombie you ever see that just like looks up at you and the blood's dripping down. I was like, fuck. I was scared out of my mind. I was like, I don't even remember how old I was, but I was pretty young when this game came out, and I was scared crapless. So those are mine. So Cass.
As horror video games, I gotta go Shadow Temple.
Yeah.
Aside from that, okay, there was, because I don't play a lot of horror video games. I did play, honestly, what is it? Slender Man. The Slender Man game.
Yeah.
When it first came out, we used to play it in the dark, and it was terrifying. Horror movies, I gotta say, The Conjuring 2 is my favorite.
Yes.
The scariest movie I've ever seen, though, was Black Swan.
Really? Psychological thriller.
If you're scared of going crazy, which I am. I don't know if I should reveal that.
No, it's okay.
No, yeah, like I'm scared of going crazy, and so if you
Hey, it's like
rude.
Cass,
First of all, rude.
I've known you for 9 years. You're there.
I feel like
Again,
I
you're
feel
going low on that
I
bar.
feel so attacked right now. No, if you're scared of going crazy, oh, thank you. That's not comforting from you. No, if you're scared of going crazy, Black Swan is the way to go, because everything in that movie, like, you feel like you're going crazy because of the delay in the mirrors, because of everything that she sees that builds up, and just terrified me. Still can't, like, I haven't been able to watch it again, and I haven't seen it since 2010.
Wow.
Scariest movie I've ever
We
seen.
did not talk about that in our production meeting earlier, so that was cool. I'm glad you pulled that one out. All right, Cora.
Forgot about that one.
Alright, for horror games, I have to say the one that I noped out of the fastest, because I don't play them very often, and when I do, I get to a point where I'm just like, nope, was Rule of Rose. And the biggest reason for that is, okay, so in Rule of Rose, you play a girl that is on this, like, weird airship. Like, I don't know how to describe it, you just have to play it or just, like, read the synopsis. But each chapter is a story, and you find the pages of the story as you go along, and then the boss is when you find the whole story. And there's usually like a little, like one of them is like the Tale of Sir Peter, and there's a little white rabbit that you follow around the airship. And there are these monsters, and when you first start out, you don't have a weapon. It's kind of Silent Hill-ish, where you don't have a weapon. Good luck finding a weapon, by the way, because when you find one, you usually don't have it again when you restart the next chapter. So these monsters come up at you, like the first one like tries to hug you, and then after that, since the second one is themed with a goat, they have ram heads and they can ram you. The third one, which is where I stopped playing, is about a bird, and out of nowhere, the monsters just fly at you and like dive bomb you, and that's when I went, oh, look at that, I have to go back to the save point now, and just turned it off.
Is this handheld?
No, this is for the PS2.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Because I've never heard of this one.
It was banned from the US for a while because some of the subject matter in it is a little more than like M, or should be M. it touches on some really
NC-17.
You played some porn, didn't you?
no
It's a smut game.
no
Dating simulator.
there is there's allusions to pedophilia. Hardcore pedophilia
Yes.
from other characters in the game that aren't you.
That is a hard pass.
Yeah, and I didn't know that playing it. I didn't make it to that chapter. I read that later.
This list right
So,
there.
as a
She
warning,
did not tell us that.
the other one
Blackface and pedophilia in one
my
night.
God.
Oh my god.
The other one, because like again, I really don't watch horror movies very much. Actually, no, I'm going to go with a horror movie I like because it's one you brought up in production meeting, Silent Hill. It's the only horror movie in a long time I've been able to watch where I actually didn't have nightmares after, and like the effects in the movie were really good. I liked the story. I like how they kind of mishmashed the first and second game's storylines together. Because I mean, you can't have a Silent Hill movie without Pyramid Head, even though he didn't show up till the second one. And the way they did him was really good.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
However, the toilet monster is what, like...
the janitor?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I just call it the toilet
yeah.
monster because it's a man contortioned into a toilet covered in barbed wire.
Shout out to those practical effects.
It was the same, and was the same guy that played the Pyramid Head. That's the same.
Is the choreographer.
Yeah,
He got a lot of
stuff.
money for that one.
he did.
Good for him.
And in that scene, like, what makes it
on camera?
like just
That's nice.
just real quick with Silent Hill, if you haven't played it, during the day the monsters are kind of just very tame. There's not very many. But when the siren goes off, it's nighttime and they like bump it up about 10 notches. And there's this when the janitor, she goes into the stall, she has to get something out of his mouth, which is very uncomfortable. Because, well, I think you know. And so she gets it. The minute she walks away from the stall, the siren goes off, and that's when he starts crawling out.
That's pretty terrifying.
Ooh, it's so terrifying. Ooh, it's so terrifying.
Last one.
Cool. So real quick, Chelsea, my girlfriend, said her favorite horror film of all time is The Exorcist.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
it's really
You can't go wrong with that one.
The power of Christ compels you.
Put socks in hell.
Wow, good job. Nice job with that retort. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
So one of my favorite video games that I played when I was a kid that they didn't really scare me, but I like the horror elements in it, was Doom 3. And even the remake that came out 2 years ago was really good. But Doom 3 used to sit there, turn off all the lights. I would put a blanket over the bottom of the door that way no light would creep through, and I would put on a strobe light above the TV and just make it even more intense for me. And I'd be there like all night playing Doom 3.
How do you not have epilepsy?
I have no idea.
I don't understand that
I
at
know a
all.
good one from the chat.
Yeah.
Original Blair Witch.
Oh no! I'm gonna.
At the time,
hard
yes.
pass on that
At
one.
the time, yes.
Oh my god!
It was something.
Where's the map?
It hasn't aged well because we've had better versions of the
Yes,
same thing.
yes,
The
we've
whole
had-
found
But at
footage.
the time in 1999,
Not Cloverfield, never Cloverfield.
I loved
but other-
Cloverfield.
I almost threw up in Cloverfield.
That was. It was
I
really
did,
shaky.
yeah.
It was really shaky.
the
They
other
put
part,
a warning on theaters.
They did.
did.
They did. I remember seeing
almost
We might
puked.
make
It
you
was
sick.
bad.
that.
another part. It was a part of a game that scared me actually because I thought my Xbox was because it was gonna red ring. I was playing Arkham Asylum, and it's a part where Batman gets hit with the Joker toxin.
Yeah.
And you're walking through this one part, and then the game it looks like it glitches.
Yeah. I
It
remember
looks like
that.
it glitches,
That was really
and then
cool.
it takes you back to the beginning of the game, and I'm like, no! I was freaking out like at 1 a.m. in the morning after I'm playing this, and then it's just the Joker it's just the Scarecrow toxin, but I was scared. I was looking at the Xbox, make sure it wasn't red ringing this and that. I'm like, please don't. No, I'm like, oh. Dude,
I mean, that was a cool scene.
Good.
That was a cool scene.
I actually have a good one on that one. The original Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation. When you play Psycho Mantis.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can read your mind. And then what it did was it would read your memory card to see if you had played other Konami games. And there was a part where it goes, you like Castlevania, don't you? And
That's pretty awesome.
I actually
Good for them. That's
Yeah.
creepy.
That is
did not see
creepy.
that coming. Like I said, I can read your mind. Oh, this should be cool. You like Castlevania, don't you? Oh, shit. What?
I think that's about the only time we can ever say good job,
If you had a
Konami.
game on your memory card,
that's
it would
sweet.
tell you that you like that game.
True.
It's true.
And
It's true.
Wow, because I even went back. I was like, it's on my memory card, and deleted like all my Castlevania data to see if it would catch it again, and it didn't. I was like, yes, it was a memory card. I just deleted all my Castlevania data. Fuck.
That's when you go.
Congratulations, you just played yourself.
Yeah!
Thank
They
you.
still won. They
And
still won.
on that lovely note, it is time for us to end. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us in the chat. Go ahead and tweet at us at SCNS Live for your favorite horror films. And by all means, go online and purchase a Devin Pike t-shirt because all proceeds do go to charity. He's going through a tough time right now, and he could use your support. And also on November 9th, feel free to join in on the benefit event. I believe that's at Alamo Draft House.
It's at the Alamo Draft House.
And it's going to be Ferris Bueller's Day Off is what they're going to be showing. If
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
believe that's what it
mistaken.
is.
Yeah.
There'll also be a silent auction there. I've donated a DeLorean song by Christopher Lloyd to
Nice.
help him out with that. So, but yeah, come out. There'll be a silent auction. He'll have some T-shirts there, but go online, pre-order. You can pick them up at the Draft House. I believe it's what's going to happen, and be there November 9th. Devin, we love you, man. You've done a lot for the community, man, and we're here for you, man.
You're going to kill that cancer, and you're going to be like having that sexy voice back. That's just got me. Just All right, Ricardo, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at SCNS Intern.
Amazing.
I'm
You know we can't promote you now because you made that your
Yeah.
Instagram.
yeah.
What does that make me?
And now we don't.
You're a special guest.
Oh no, we're considering maybe you're the new part of the show. Over
I'll just be the
over
soulless
intern.
ginger.
You're still never
Yes.
part.
If I get promoted, I just get promoted straight to regular.
That'd be hilarious if
From
she-
being
Oh,
an
I'm an
intern.
SCNS photographer. I was here at Dallas Comic Con.
No, you're still
good.
the intern.
You know your
Good
voice
job,
just
intern.
went half an octave
Also,
higher,
go on
right?
our Facebook page. Check out the shots that intern Ricardo got
Yes.
at Dallas Fan Days. They are very.
They are actually very good. So very well done job. Okay, so Miss Cora, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at HawksPerch, or you can find me where I'm much more active at Corodono on Instagram. That's KORODONO. I post lots of sketches. I post some cosplay, but it's mostly been sketches because it's Sketchtober.
Not like video sketches, but like her drawing.
Yeah, I draw. I draw
Yeah.
lots of things. After Sketchtober is over, I'm going to be drawing a lot more Suikoden, so if you're into that, please message me because I need more fans.
Right on.
Which is another good Konami game.
Need more fans?
I need more friends that are fans.
Oh, well, Konami needs more fans too. All right, so
So rich. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at the same handle. It's KAS_Bradley, BRADLEY.
Excellent, Jason.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at JasonX.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Move the Joystick. And guys, don't forget to check out next Friday. It's gonna be the next UGF tournament, WWE 2K18 King of the Ring. I'll be in the tournament. She'll be in the tournament, and you won't want to miss who wins in the main event between the undefeated champion BC versus Double LP. So it's going to be an amazing time. Check that out. That's going to be on the Cinelinks channels of YouTube and on Facebook. And also, don't forget to go ahead and go on Cinelinks.com for all your news, reviews, editorials, and more. I've written a lot of game reviews. This guy wrote one for The Evil Within 2. I just wrote one for Assassin's Creed Origins. It's something you want to check out. So for everybody here, we thank you so much. Shout out to BC, shout out to Rob, shout out to Zach, and shout out to everybody that was in the chat today. We love you, and keep on nerding, and happy Halloween!